What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Don Rico back at it again with another vid. It's been a minute, but now I want to talk about something that's a bit more personal, but at the same time, this is part of my maturing process. Now, you know me. If you catch my content, you know I like to document the journey. So, this is just another one of my, thoughts or my, I would say, normally these are the type of things or the conversations that you might have when you're journaling, but I like to actually talk to the camera about it a little bit and kind of present it from my mind state. So, without further ado, I want to talk about burnout. Now, I want to preface this conversation by saying I am a firm and strong believer that you eat what you kill. The more work you put in, the more you get out. The more that you reap, the more that you sow. I put my work in. I religiously work overtime. I do what I gotta do. And then I also focus on my fitness. I also put out content for you guys. And I'm also studying for my AWS cloud exam, which is a solutions architect associate. All that aside, now that I've actually laid out that preface, burnout is absolutely a real thing. Don't let anybody lie to you or fool you. Now, I know in hustle culture, which honestly I have a love-hate relationship with. Like there are good aspects of it, like working hard, putting in the work, being focused, being disciplined, being diligent, getting it by any means. Yes, I rock with that, but not at the expense of your health, not at the expense of your psychological sanity or well-being, and definitely not at the expense of actually frying your nervous system. Now, I get it. When you think of burnout, especially if you're someone who goes out and gets after it, you might think, oh, these people are lazy, they're making excuses, they're whining, complaining. Now, I can actually see it from both lenses. A firm believer in that you eat what you kill, and I'm talking about like 50, 60 plus hours in a week. But also, you have to take care of your mental. It's not BS. It's something that needs to be done. What people don't understand, burnout is and when I'm saying by people, I'm talking about people who primarily subscribe to the hustle culture. You're killing yourself in slow motion without even realizing that you're doing so. And I think low key, y'all know that you're doing it, but you think, oh, but it's all worth it because I have the success, the fame, the this, the that, and it's like, okay, that's nice. But personally, I believe you operate much more efficiently when your mind state is right. Meaning, first and foremost, sleep. Sleep. And I know in hustle culture, you talk about no sleep. You got to get after it. Little to no sleep. They wear no sleep like it's a badge of honor, and it's not. It's really not. Next to water and breathing, sleep is extraordinarily, and I mean extraordinarily, important for your health in all aspects, your mental, your emotional, brain health. Did you know that if you're chronically sleep deprived and that you're chronically stressed out, your brain is constantly in a fight and flight response? Your amygdala, that almost fear based, a reactionary based part of your brain, it enlarges and it gets stronger. Whereas your prefrontal cortex, which is involved in reasoning, thinking, executive function, it actually, the gray matter within that gets smaller, which means you don't have as much control. You're more reactionary. You can't, memory retention is damaged and compromised, and you can't really think or focus clearly as much as you would like. And it begins with sleep. You have to take your sleep seriously. I cannot stress this enough. As someone who I would say does not get enough sleep, which is actually quite embarrassing given the fact that I invest so heavily into my own physical fitness, sleep is paramount. Y'all need to get your sleep hygiene right. Stop skipping out on sleep. Put some respect on sleep's name, or you will pay for it later down the road. I promise you. Next, Next thing that I personally want to talk about, aside from sleep, movement. You have to get up off your ass and move. Now, you don't have to go and seriously invest into fitness like I do, for example, or anyone else. You just need to prioritize movement. At the end of the day, we human beings have evolved to be movement based creatures. We're not yet completely evolved to be at our desk and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna work, type. Like we're naturally not evolved to operate in that way. We're meant to move and run and carry stuff. Movement is medicine. I'm sure y'all heard that before. I actually posted a video ages ago. It's like one of my first 10 videos, I would say, within my channel where I talked about movement is medicine. You have to get out and move. Preferably, you need to exercise. I can't begin to describe to you the numerous health benefits, all of which I will not say. You'll be able to sleep better, which is what I recounted from the first time or the first point. You sleep better, you look better, you move better. It's just, it all begins there. So, sleep and movement. Another thing that you need to take into account is burnout is absolutely real because of the effect that it has on your nervous system. If your nervous system is fried, if your nervous system is cooked, not only you're always going to be in a fight and flight response, you're always just going to be stressed out, and the cortisol levels are going to they're going to skyrocket, and your hormones they get messed up on top of no sleep and on top of very little movement. And this is what I mean by you're killing yourself in slow motion because you're not prioritizing the most important aspects of your health. And sometimes you don't even realize it until after you've already started experiencing it. And unfortunately, instead of taking a proactive approach, we like to take a reactive approach. Burnout is absolutely 100% real. It's no BS. People aren't just crying about it. It affects everybody differently. And to just dismiss it as, oh, they're just crying, they're just complaining, they're just being lazy, is actually quite disingenuous, in my view. We have to get to the core of why it is that they feel burnt out or dissatisfied. It could be an environmental dissatisfaction. It could be an issue that they may have at home that contributes to everything else. If they may be, a lot of times, it's a job-based or a career dissatisfaction. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel stagnant. Maybe you have issues with leadership, management, the job, work culture, etc. Whatever it may be, that also contributes to burnout because it increases your levels of cynicism, and then you start thinking, what is the point? And then that's when you start getting mentally fatigued, emotionally fatigued, and then that carries with you outside of work into your own personal lives where you probably are with your family and they'll be like, why isn't he present? Why isn't she present? Why aren't they there? It's because you're already fried mentally. Your brain is actually physically reconfigured itself because of all the stress and the lack of sleep that you're getting. And all for the name of what exactly? I think we need to shift our mindset and shift our perspective instead of actually working our butts off for these companies and for these jobs. We need to put that energy into ourselves. We need to start putting this energy into ourselves and actually build something for ourselves and stop thinking less like people who just work in these 9 to 5s and more like owners and builders in our own right. Now, I'm not saying that all that's going to be easy, nor is it for everybody, but at the very least, you need to pour into yourself in a real way. Maybe you need to change your environment. Maybe you need to learn a new skill. Maybe you need to get another job. Maybe you need to break up with that toxic, you need to break up that toxic relationship that you have with your spouse or significant other. Or you just need to take a break. And when you take a break, this is very important to recovery of burnout. You need to learn to embrace boredom. Embrace the silence and embrace boredom. Healing actually starts there. And you need to reconfigure your identity. You need to develop a new reason why you are pushing yourself so hard. Understand that you are not your job, you are not your situation, nor your circumstance, and everything is temporary. It's okay to feel burnt out. It's not okay to stay there because at the end of the day, you eat what you kill. You still have to show up. But you need to figure out how you're going to show up after you've been burnt out. What is it that you learned from the experience? Now, I'm starting to ramble a little bit, but I'm also telling you this from my own personal experience because I'm actually going through a bit of a burnout myself. My quality of sleep has decreased. I haven't really been hitting my fitness goals as of late, or I haven't been as intentional because I've been dead tired. Even studying has been it's almost like a mountain gargantuous task because I've become so tired. What is it that I'm trying to communicate to you here? We need to shift. You need to find a way to shift your focus, your priorities, and your purpose more into serving you than it is to serving others. All this time, effort, and energy that you're spending making someone else rich, you can instead reinvest that energy back into yourselves and make yourselves rich. Or at the very least, increase the quality of your life. It's funny. According to Stephen Pressfield, we're all professionals. Shout out to Stephen Pressfield. One of his books, The War of Art. We're already professionals. We get up in the morning. We go to work. We get up when we don't want to get up. We go to places that we don't want to go, and we execute on tasks that we are not very fond of, but we do it because we have to do it. That's the mentality and the mindset and the perspective that we need to embrace when we get off our 9 to 5s, when we start working on our 5 to 9s, and it's going to require a sacrifice. And this is where the you eat what you kill aspect comes into play, because if you're just getting off of work and you're tired and you don't feel like doing anything and you go straight to sleep, you eat or go straight to sleep, you're just stuck on the hamster wheel. And by the time you actually have your off days, you don't want to do anything anyway, instead of just actually being intentional. You need to do things that is in alignment with what it is that you like to do, or what it is that you need to do, and what it is that's best for you. You need to rediscover and figure out who it is that you are. That's why recovery during the burnout phase is very important, because it's a realignment of priorities. Understand that you're not going to go back. If listen, there are a lot of people that may be watching this right now who are once high performers. You may have been a high performer just like I am. Now you're starting to after the burnout, you're starting to realize and understand, hey, listen, I can't go back to the high performer that I used to be in this aspect. I'm still very much in my core a high performer, but now I need to figure out how to channel this high performing energy into things that is more conducive to what it is that I need to do for me in my life, and elevating and raising my own standing in the world. It's about time, in closing, I'm going to say this. It's about time that you stopped working for somebody else and started working for you. Shift your perspective, change your mindset and your mentality. Start thinking as your 9 to 5s and you're working your overtime in your 9 to 5s as the company that gives you this opportunity, as your angel investor into what it is that you're really trying to go after. Whether you're studying to get a better job, whether you're funding a side venture, a side business, a side hustle, content creation, etc. It doesn't matter what it is. You need to start to learn to do something for yourself. And learn to focus. Remove as much of the distractions as humanly possible. They are what keeps you stuck on the hamster wheel. Burnout is absolutely real. It's okay to feel burnt out. It's not okay to stay there. Understand that your body and your brain is telling you that you need to take a break. But you need to figure out, while you're recovering, while your nervous system is revamping itself, while your brain is starting to refigure itself back to its original state and what it is that it's supposed to be, because you're now finally beginning to prioritize your health, your fitness, and your rest, and you're getting plenty of sleep. You need to figure out and reestablish a new boundary and a new purpose of what it is that you want to do for yourself, for your family, etc. It's time that you actually started pouring into you. It's okay to feel burnt out. We're not all superhuman as much as we like to, but we here. But as long as you keep pushing forward, listen, it's okay to take a momentary break and to pause. Figure out who it is that you are. Remember who it is that you are. Follow your likes, your inclinations, your passions, what it is, lean on what it is that you're good at, and move forward. Leverage it. But don't do it for a business or a company or for anybody else. Do it for you now. And ironically, in doing it for yourself, you actually do it for others, because you help give people the permission to do the same, and which still very much pours into people. All right. It's your boy Don Rico. Listen, just chill out, okay? You're going to be all right. You're going to be okay. You're still that high performer. You're still that top performer. You just need a reset. That's all this really is. It's just a bump in the road. But you're still on the road and you're still moving along. And ultimately, you're going to get to your destination as long as you don't stop, all right? I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Deuces, y'all.